how it reads to me, and based on what I saw in the dugout last night, like I mentioned, feels like there is a bit of shell shock across the organization that this has happened to this point. One Royal Way back at it here on Kansas City Sports Network. I'm Joel Penfield. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. The Royals won a series against the Cincinnati Reds, winning on Monday and on Wednesday. I'm recording Wednesday night after the game went final. Probably should have been a sweep. It's going to be the main thing we talk about today. The game on Tuesday that they lost in extra innings. But I'm going to take the wins where we can get them, right? Like, with this team and where we're at this season, need to take the wins where we can and move forward. Talk about all the kind of the news and notes from this series, and then a little bit of how did we get here? Where do we go from here? On the back half of this show. Before we get into this, please make sure you like the video, subscribe if you're on YouTube. If you're an audio listener, make sure you're subscribed there as well. Leave a 5-star review. It does help this channel grow, helps more people see this content, so we can't thank you enough for that support on that front throughout this season. I know it has not been easy, but I appreciate the loyal people that watch and listen to this thing every time we put out episodes, whether it's this show, the post-game shows, or Royals Pipeline, which Jarrett and Kevin are doing awesome over there. They put out an interview on Monday or Tuesday with LP Langevin, a reliever in high A right now. He's from Canada. Very cool interview. Please go check that out. And this show, as always, brought to you by Emprise Bank. Member FDIC, our partners in Possible here at Kansas City Sports Network. We can't thank them enough for their support over these past 5 years here at KCSN. So the Royals win on Monday. They win on Wednesday. I'm going to put those on the back burner and talk about those here in a little bit. Let's go to the game on Tuesday night. It is 3-1 going into the 8th inning. So that's where we'll leave it. They hit a 3 spot in the 4th inning. Michael Massey puts up a really great at-bat. Then ends up giving them a couple of runs after I think it was an 8 or 9 pitch at-bat. And he did that again tonight, obviously. But so back-to-back days with it, which is great. As I sidebar myself immediately. So you get that aspect of it. So you got a 3-1 lead. The only run that Noah Cameron gives up was a solo home run to Spencer Steer. So in that 8th inning, this is where I kind of join some of you in the bullpen management stuff. And as you guys know, I'm not overly critical and oftentimes a defender of Matt Contreras because I think a lot of the criticism is overwrought, overdone, and a little unnecessary in spots because people love using the analogy, but play Calvin ball with it just to fit whatever their narrative, whatever their confirmation bias is, because they already don't like it. Okay, that's fine, whatever. But the reason why I oftentimes align with the understanding and why I'll defend most of the decisions is because I understand the process. I know what they were trying to do with that decision, whether it was a platoon move, a starting lineup decision, whether to start a guy, whether not to start a guy, who they go to in the bullpen at certain times to try and lead to the moves after. And I try and play that chess match in my head because that's what they have to do. That's what you have to do. You have to make the move while also thinking 2 moves ahead sometimes. And what happens a lot of times is it's very easy to play the result, right? It is easy to sit from our point of view in the stands, watching on TV at home, from your couch, at a bar, wherever you're watching the game and consuming the game. It's easy to sit and go, that was a bad idea. Because we are removed from having to make that decision, right? And it is easy to, with the information in front of us, to go, that was a bad idea because of what is happening in front of us, right? Like you do not know, whether you believe it or not, what is going to happen before it does. It's easy to play that in your head. It's much different out there. I also think it is a way to deflect from blaming the player. And it is blaming the person that has absolutely zero control over the person that is on the mound or at the plate. He can't swing the bat for him. He can't throw strike one for him. He can't get swing and miss for him. That is their job, and that is what they are getting paid to do. All that said, I did not understand the process of the 8th and the 9th inning deployment of the bullpen last night, Tuesday night. I understand that Matt Strahm has been the 8th inning guy for the majority of this season. That has been his role. He has handled a lot of high leverage innings across his major league career since really truly becoming a bullpen guy. He's handled a lot of these games. He just came back off the injured list on Sunday with a knee injury. He had not thrown since May 15th, one of the other wild extra inning games that the Royals lost. And in that game is when he hurt his knee, went on the injured list. So he had not thrown in about 2 to 3 weeks on a big league mound. He did not have a rehab assignment. So he's dropped into a 2-run game. But in that 2 innings, or in that 2-run game, and in that 8th inning, he has dropped into a spot in the order for the Cincinnati Reds where it is righty, righty, righty switch hitter. So you're, of the potential, say one guy gets on 4 hitters, you're facing the opposite side for 4 consecutive hitters. And the first guy coming up is Spencer Steer, who had already hit a home run off Noah Cameron earlier in the game, and is a lefty killer this season and has been for most of his career, but this year specifically, an 1,100 OPS against left-handed pitching. And first batter Matt Strahm faces, he ends up popping the ball out to right field for a home run. And now it's a bandbox in Great American Ballpark. So you can say for what it is, it's a 374-foot home run to right center. It's a home run 12 out of 30, but the process doesn't make sense there, bringing him in there. Now, Tyler Stevenson, he ends up getting the next 3 guys. Tyler Stevenson, Blake Dunn, Edwin Arroyo. Tyler Stevenson can't really hit worth the lick, but he's a catcher, so, you kind of throw that to the side a little bit. Blake Dunn is, he's got a stronger OPS and numbers against left-handed pitching, and Edwin Arroyo is a switch hitter. Still looking for his first big league plate appearance, but has some prospect pedigree. He's a pretty good player. Just still trying to figure it out at the big league level. But to drop Strahm into that situation, first batters that he's faced in a few weeks, it's a 2-run game. You got 4. I know he can get left and right out. He's done it most of his career. That to me just did not feel like the time. Oh, hey, Matt Strahm, welcome back. Go do this. I didn't like that. I didn't understand that as much when you have a guy like John Schreiber, who has pitched really well over the last couple of weeks, shown an ability to run the fastball up a little more into the mid-90s. He's getting ground balls. He's not getting hit around as much. He's in one of these stretches where he is pitching really well. This felt like the moment to deploy him there, and then maybe save Strahm for 9th inning if needed, or 10th, however you want to play it that way. But that did not feel like the moment for that. I did not agree with it. But it's still a 3-2 game. Not like he blew the game there, right? So, I'm kind of picking nits relative to what could have happened. But I still didn't think that was the best. Now it's a 3-2 game. You don't get anything in the 9th inning. Daniel Lynch hasn't thrown since Saturday. I was wondering if this may be the opportunity, like Kevin and I talked about on Sunday, that, listen, they have to make a move in the 9th inning. That is, Lucas Erceg had 3 consecutive outings that were not great. If you include the game on Sunday, that was a non-safe situation. And they showed the shot of the bullpen. I was wondering what they were going to do. I wasn't quite sure where they were at in the order to bring up in the ninth inning. They end up pinch hitting a couple lefties against Erceg, but that they brought in Lucas Erceg. They showed the bullpen shot. I was like, oh boy, I don't know about this. You have a guy that 3 consecutive times he's gone out there, he's gotten knocked around. 2 of those times he's blown saves. One of those a 1-run game, one of them a 2-run game. Last one on Saturday, he didn't even get an out, gave up 5 consecutive hits, a home run and 4 consecutive singles, and lost the game. I feel like a 1-run game on the road, 2 days removed from that game. I don't know if I agree with this. There are closers that no matter what, you're going to run out. Think of your great examples of like your Mariano Rivera. Hey, he's in a rough stretch. Well, you know what? He's Mariano freaking Rivera. We're going to go Wade Davis in his prime, Kenley Jansen in his prime, Craig Kimbrell, Mason Miller right now. These guys go through stretches, right? But more often than not, they have the track record. You're like, yeah, that guy's going to get us out of a game. He's going to get out of this. This is not who he is. We don't know what Lucas Erceg is right now. So going to him in that situation, I was a little apoplectic sitting on my couch. Like, I don't know how this is going to go. And I know that he had a little bit of a track record the last 2 years, but this year, not necessarily the same guy. And sure enough, first batter he faces, they pinch hit Will Benson, and he hangs a changeup on the outer half of the plate, but it catches enough plate, and Will Benson's a huge dude, and he can duck hook it, and he did. And it's a tie game like that. And it got to a point where I believe the winning run was on second base. He was able to get Spencer Steer out and get it to extra innings, but you blew the game again. And like I said, Daniel Lynch had not thrown since Saturday. This is another situation. Maybe you've shown you can go to Schreiber in the ninth inning. He's done it before this year. And again, he's pitching well. And sure, they may still go to Benson. Sure, they may still go to Lowe. But I feel pretty good about John Schreiber's ability, generally speaking, to keep the ball in the yard because of the sinker-sweeper combination. As long as it's not a four seam that just stays middle, there's a pretty good chance it's going to be hit on the ground or not hit all that hard, at least with what he's done these last couple of weeks. And now you're just dug a hole further for Lucas Erceg, whose ERA now is 6.45. He's blown 3 consecutive saves. He's blown, I think, 6 this year. I know a couple of them were in extra innings, which counts as a blown save. I throw in a separate bucket, but 3 consecutive ninth innings, he has blown a save when that is his job, to hold the lead and win that game. And then the Royals get nothing in the ninth, in the 10th inning, when they have runners on the corners with 1 out. Kaggs lines out and Isbell strikes out swinging. 2 batters in, Schreiber gives up the run. But again, when you don't score, I almost expect that run to score no matter what. So I'm not putting anything on Schreiber. Like, I'm not worried about that. In the grand scheme of things, it's an unearned run to begin with. That just felt to me like a mismanagement and a bit of it's the definition of insanity right now with Lucas Erceg. That's 4 consecutive outings now. Now, they made a move to, they said today, basically, they very diplomatically, they still believe in Lucas Erceg as the long-term closer. Okay, sure, that's fine. But they're going to go matchup right now. It is closer by committee. It is figure out how they're, figure out the ninth inning however they can. But seems like they're going away from Erceg now, and I'm curious how he's used as we go forward. And it looks really rough now when you consider you won on Monday in pretty convincing fashion, and then you pull it out of the fire on Wednesday and you win that game. Had a chance for a sweep on the road. Not like it would have magically turned the season around, but I think it could have carried a little bit of momentum forward. But what I saw last night was, there were a couple of guys in that dugout that looked almost catatonic. Salvador Perez sat in that dugout in full gear for 5 minutes. It seemed like just looking out. Carter Jensen sat there. Brian Sweeney didn't move. I just stunned. And I'll get to some of that here in a little bit of a how do we get here? Where do we go from here? And I spent a lot of time on this particular game. I do want to talk about the wins as well, but it's a really tough spot. And this bullpen has already had plenty of issues. But if Lucas Erceg's not doing anything, like you got basically one guy, maybe two, just for right now with John Schreiber. But then again, that's a for right now because we know he can be a little volatile throughout the year. But he's pitching well right now, so I guess, credit where it's due. But all that said, still found a way to win 2 games in the series. Offense did their job on Monday. It was supposed to be Chase Burns on Monday. He got sick afternoon of, so they had to go Johnny Holstaff. Lyon Williamson started the game, ended up walking 3 guys, and Lane Thomas popped him for a grand slam on a first pitch fastball. Dude just tried to pour one in the zone, and he didn't miss him. It's 4-0 right off the jump for Luinder Avila, who was getting the start. I was curious what his leash would look like, but he got through 5 innings. The stuff looked really good, I thought. The walks, like to see him rein those in, but he also had 5 strikeouts, and the stuff dances around the zone. I understand why they like him as a starter. Like I understand it. I still think his ceiling may be higher as a reliever. I still stand by that take, but it was good to see him, and he got through 5. And in a bullpen adjacent type game, that was massive to be able to get there. Like he was able to. Jack hits a 2-run home run this game, lefty-lefty. They had kind of a pie-throwing lefty, Lee Brandt, I think was his name. And shout out to that guy, because they went 1 inning with Williamson. Maybe he gave them 2, and then another guy for 2 innings, and then he gave them 6 innings out of the bullpen, called him up they selected his contract. He comes up and from Louisville, their AAA, gives them 6 innings in immediate DFA. Like he wore it. He gave up 5 or 6 earned runs, but he saved their bullpen for what they ended up needing on Tuesday and a little bit on Wednesday as well, when it could have been absolutely brutal considering the late scratch of Chase Burns. So I hope that bullpen got him a nice steak dinner, or they got him a nice bottle of bourbon as he went back down south to Louisville, and the waiver claims. But shout out to that guy seriously, because like that is not an easy spot to be where you're just out there to wear one, and he did. Jack hit a 2-run home run, lefty-lefty, which was good to see. He still had the at-bat previously against another lefty reliever. The name escapes me right now. But I don't want to stop myself and go look it up, where he fouled off a bunch of fastballs, but then they were able to flip over that breaking ball into the other batter's box, and he swung and missed. So still touch and go against left-handed pitching, but it was good to see him get on a ball, and take advantage of a mistake and drive it up the middle. I mean, ball was on a vapor trail. And Michael Massey got on a ball as well. He swung the bat really well in Cincinnati this week, which has been really good to see, with him really kind of taking on this everyday second base role, and needing to play more against left-handed pitching, with Michael on the shelf and Nick Lofton needing to play third. I say Michael's on the shelf, but he was available off the bench. It seems like he may be able to play when they get to Minnesota, but certainly we'll see in that regard. The other 2 pieces from this game, or not this game, the Tuesday and Wednesday games, are back-to-back really good starts from Noah Cameron and from Steven Kolek. Noah Cameron gave them 7 innings, 1 hit, 1 earned. It was the home run to Spencer Steer. 8 strikeouts, no walks. The walks were really tough for him early in the year, but I tweeted earlier today, last 3 starts, 3 earned runs in 18 innings. That's a 1.5 ERA, 20 strikeouts to 3 walks. So he's starting to figure it out a little bit. I want to see it over a little bit of a larger sample. But the ERA is back down into the lower 4s. Another good outing can get sub 4, and we're in a really good spot. I think Noah Cameron is starting to trend it back in the other direction and is pitching really well. which is a great sign that the sort of slump book being out on him a little bit to begin this season, maybe a little bit in the rearview mirror for him, and he's able to kind of to put it together. And then Steven Kolek tonight was fantastic once again. Another quality start. He gives you 7 innings, scatters 5-6 hits, gives up a 2-run home run to Blake Dunn that ended up tying the game. But he ends up, still getting into the 7th inning. He struck out 8, only walked 2, scattered 6 hits, and the ERA is 3.32. That's 9 quality starts in 11 appearances as a starter for the Kansas City Royals. I believe he's going to be a part of this rotation's future for a while. And a guy that was, a bit of a slow burn, late bloomer out of college. He didn't come up, for a couple of years, still got 4 years of control. And a guy that I always viewed as maybe a higher floor, low ceiling guy. There's maybe a little more ceiling in there than I really anticipated, because he's starting to find the strikeouts now. That's never really been his game. We saw it in the complete game shutout, where he gives you 9 shutty, but he only struck out 2 and didn't strike out the first guy until the 8th inning. But in the last couple of outings, he's gotten 8 strikeouts, 7 strikeouts, 8 strikeouts. And it's not necessarily, I think it's one of those where it's a club in his bag, but it's not one he goes to very often or feels like he has to go get. It's not like a Cole Reagans where that's his way to success, is getting a bunch of strikeouts. It's something he can do when he needs it. The perfect example of that was in the 3rd inning, runners on the corners with 1 out. You're up 2-0 on the Vinny home run. Blade comes up, he gets a strikeout there with a runner on 3rd and 1 out. You're looking ground ball to, up the middle for hopefully a double play if it's hit hard enough, or a strikeout. He gets the strikeout, and then he struck out Sal Stewart right after that. Back-to-back punchies when he really needed it. So I think now that there's a little bit of an adjustment where he's able to go and get the strikeouts when he needs it, adds a little more ceiling for him, even if it is more of the Michael Wacha, Seth Lugo type of, they can, but they don't rely on it, which is the mark of a good pitcher. And this guy knows how to pitch, commands the ball to all parts of the zone, cutter, sinker, four-seam, slider. He's got a good changeup when he needs it. It was really impressive tonight for him to navigate this lineup and follow up on what they were able to do the previous night with Noah Cameron. I know it's lefty-righty, but they kind of operate the same from opposite sides. Daniel Lynch gave them the 8th inning, gets strikeout, and then Alex Lang closed it out tonight. It wasn't pretty, but considering what we've seen from Lucas Erceg the last 3 or 4 times in the 9th inning, I don't care how it's done. And he got a couple of strikeouts, which was good to see. The tying run did come to the plate, all for naught. They end up getting a win. And 3 of those runs coming in the 9th inning against Tony Santillan. Michael Massey had a 10-pitch at-bat, back-to-back days where he's able to go and get the big hit and drive in a run when they needed it. And then right after that, Nick Lofton comes up, and Santillan threw what I can only assume was a frustration fastball. Just screw it here. And Lofton didn't miss it, turn and burn, and he gets a home run off a righty, which was significant to see too. His first of the year. So they end up winning 5-2. Overall, heck of a game. Love to see it. And we'll see how they're able to carry this over heading to Minnesota. I don't think I've ever taken a break this late in the show. We're going to go ahead and do that right now. We'll talk a little bit about how we got here, what's next right after this.
David Starnes Allstate Insurance is a proud partner of KC Sports Network, serving the Kansas City area and all throughout the Midwest. If you are looking for new coverage or something that better suits your home, auto, health, or any of your other insurance needs, give Dave and his team a call. Elevate your coverage and be worry-free with David Starnes Allstate Insurance.
I'm Brett Goodwin, one of the owners of The Learning Tree. The Learning Tree is a neighborhood toy store in Prairie Village, Kansas. This has been here in this location since 2000s, and my husband Alan and I purchased the store in 2023. Alan and I grew up in families where we've always wanted to have a business together. Alan grew up, for instance, his parents had a jewelry store. I worked in a local toy store here in Prairie Village when I was growing up. When this opportunity happened in 2023, we knew right away we wanted to contact them and pursue the store. We wouldn't have been able to get the store without the team at Emprise Bank. From the day we contacted them, They knew what we needed to do, which was very helpful. I would absolutely recommend the team at Emprise Bank to anyone looking to secure a business. We worked with Emprise from day one. They were extremely helpful. They were always great resources. We talk to them frequently. They know the area. They're very friendly. We know who we're going to talk with, and they know what we need to do. We hope we'll see you at the Learning Tree.
You know that moment, the moment you realize you left your favorite sunglasses at the beach or on the roof of your car or at the gas station 3 states away. Well, I've been there too. But then I found Shady Rays and it changed the game. These sunglasses are made for real life, seriously good-looking, polarized, durable, and not stupidly expensive. Here's the wild part. If you lose them or break them, even on day one, Shady Rays will send you a brand new pair, no guilt trip, just replacements. So now I can actually wear my sunglasses without fear, on hikes, at concerts, on the boat, wherever. They have sunglasses for golfing, fishing, hiking, and biking, even sunglasses for kids. Shady Rays is eyewear that has your back. Go to shadyrays.com and use code KCSN for 40% off 2 or more pairs of polarized sunglasses. Thanks, everyone, for hanging with me this far. Again, please make sure to like, rate, subscribe, review, leave a 5-star review on the audio side as well. So they win tonight, and that's great. But you're 24-38, and you're now last in the AL Central because the Tigers swept the Rays. So you're back in the cellar, even after winning 2 of 3. How do we get here? And then kind of where do we go from here? And this was something I kind of came to on Monday when I did my weekly spot on the Zone with Jason Anderson and Sterling Holmes. It was just Sterling this week. And he asked me, what do I make of what seems to be a lack of finger pointing and a lack of kind of a lack of decision or indecision would be the better way to put it. And they haven't really made any they don't have many staff moves despite the way that this thing has gone. JJ is preaching patience. So is Potrero, and so is the team. Like they're all just kind of sitting, not like they're sitting on their hands, not like they don't care. I think that's a lazy take to begin with. That the team doesn't care and that the manager doesn't. Like that's a crock. But again, fans are fanatics. I get it. How it reads to me, and based on what I saw in the dugout last night, like I mentioned, feels like there is a bit of shell shock across the organization that this has happened to this point. They obviously have all their data. They have like all, projected outcome, percentile outcomes, yada, yada. But I don't think even in their most pessimistic scenarios did they think they would be in last place at this point. Injuries factor in, but it's not an excuse. Every team goes through that. But I do think it is shocking in some ways. And I don't think they want to be rash because they're so stunned. And they still believe in the guys, coaching staff, for right or for wrong, and the players in that room, that they're going to be able to figure it out because they won 86 games and they won 82 games. I know they missed the playoffs, but it's still a winning record. We haven't seen many of those in Kansas City, by the way, in the last 30 years. So I think that explains some of the, why haven't they made a move? Why haven't they fired anyone? Why haven't they done this? They need to fire. They need It's not that I don't think they want to. I just don't think they are going to right now. Because they're trying to figure out, okay, can we right this ship? And again, that is the way that y'all feel is totally separate. I understand fans being upset and wanting change. I get it. But it's not the job of the front office to cater to the whim of fans. It's not, because if that were the case, you'd fire the manager one game in because they lost. That'd be irrational. And fans are irrational. I understand it. We're irrational as Chiefs fans. I'm irrational as an Oklahoma State sports fan. Like, I get it. I'm not trying to tell y'all how to feel, but I'm trying to show you, like, try and separate your feelings about the front office and your feelings about the players and the coaches and all that, and look at it from the point of view of they don't want to make those types of decisions because of the repercussions that sit around that. And sure, they could fire McIntyre. Say they do. Then, as Kevin and I talked about, like, is Paul Hoover the interim? Is Vance Wilson the interim? Is Marcus Thames the interim? I don't think that makes a difference for the 2026 team. And certainly I don't believe that guy becomes the full-time going into 2027. So then you have a whole new staff change. Maybe that's what they need. But I'm not going to get there right now. They're probably, not even probably, I think there needs to be changes somewhere just to see if maybe it makes a difference somewhere. But I'm not going to advocate for people's jobs. I'm just not. It's not a position that I need to put myself in. From where I sit and from where I'm at. Because I don't have the cachet to do that. It ain't worth it for me. But do I think there should be change? Yeah, they're 24-38 and the season's been a disaster. You backslid 2 consecutive years now. Like, I would be floored if this team gets back to 500. I don't think they're going to get there. Because I think they're going to end up making some changes to the roster as well at the trade deadline. I don't think they're going to be fire sale, but the roster is going to look different come August 2nd. When I think the trade deadline August 31st? I think it's a little different this year, just the way the calendar falls. Oh, it's Monday, August 3rd. Okay, there we go. So, again, with 2 months to go, it's going to look a little different. Now, if they decide to hit some reset button, how hard do they hit it? Like I just mentioned, do they just nuke the staff and start over and go, hey, listen, I know we made the playoffs 2 years ago, but then we missed, and then we had the season from hell, injuries and ineffectiveness, and we won 73 games. Like that, after going 56, 86, then back down to 82, and then mid-70s, whatever that number looks like. Like, we can't keep going backwards. And with this window, with the star generational talent player that we have as our shortstop, we can't screw around with these years. So that may be one part of the reset button. Then how hard do they hit the reset button on the roster? That becomes, to me, the most fascinating part of the next few months. Next 2 months at least. Because look, it's June 3rd. 2 months from today is the trade deadline. I don't think you can fire Sale. I think you can flip a few guys, like a Waka, maybe a Lugo if someone bites on it and they still think that there's something left in the tank, but with 2.5 years and, him being 36, I don't know if that ends up happening. Waka's probably more likely, in my opinion. Bubic being a rental, certainly. A few relievers you can dangle out there. I don't think they hit it much harder than that. And then a matter of, let's run with the assumption that there is baseball in 2027. That the CBA gets agreed upon and we're playing next year. How different? Like, who is the core? Like, who is still part of this thing? I don't think they're going to trade Michael Garcia. They just gave him a 5-year extension. I think that would be insane to trade him. I don't think anyone would take Vinny if he stays on this track for this year. So he's still probably going to be around, and they still view him as a clubhouse leader. Jack is going to be here. Carter's going to be here. Assume Salvi doesn't retire. He's still going to be here at 37. How much is he catching? I don't know. Isaac Collins still has 4 years of control after this year. There's going to be a few holes to fill. Is Michael Massey still a part of this? I'm saying this because I know people are talking about blow it up, blow everything up. The implication that is that trade Bobby Witt Jr. For those that want this team to win, that is not going to happen if you trade him. Simply, it is not. And I don't think that the organization wants that to happen. I don't think Bobby wants that to happen. I know no one in this city wants that to happen. And if you do, okay, but again, careful what you wish for. I think your best opportunity to still try and win is retooling this thing to the best of their ability and try and win next and try and keep this thing going. Come hell or high water, you have to at least try and contend every year. The Angels, and I'm seeing now the Bobby is Mike Trout, Midwest Mike Trout, and that the Royals aren't serious about winning and all that. Again, that's a crock if you actually pay attention. I know they're not winning this year, but they have at least tried to win. It has fallen on its face this year, but they made the playoffs 2 years ago. It's not that far away. But the Angels really didn't try and contend at all. They made these really $500,000. I mean, if you want to say the Royals didn't try and contend, look at some of the moves that the Angels made a few years ago, in the last few years of Trout and Ohtani. They really didn't try. The owner has said it himself. Fans don't care about winning. The owner said that out loud. At least John Sherman wants to win. At least he says he wants to win. I don't know, man. I think this is all, it's frustrating. It's wearing on us all. And I hope that they're going to be able to right the ship. I don't think it's going to happen for this season, but I think they're going to be able to find a way to do it as we move forward. I still, maybe it's irrational. Maybe I'm foolish. But I think you ride out, you still have opportunities and a runway over the next couple of years, because that opt-out is until 2031. You still have a few years and maybe a new collective bargaining that may give the Royals some opportunities to contend and try and win. How they go about doing it, we'll learn a lot over the next few months. And I think that's going to be more how I sit with this. Again, I'm not going to sit here and advocate for people to be fired. But I will sit back, observe, and see what changes do they make to the roster, to the coaching staff, however they decide to do it, to feel they can maximize winning and maximize this window that this team still has available to them and is in front of them this year notwithstanding. We'll see. Pardon me. I think that's going to wrap it up tonight, because I can tell my stream of consciousness has gone away, and I think I'm just going to move forward. Thank you guys very much for listening. We'll be back this weekend. Last game of the Minnesota Twins series on Sunday will be a live post-game show. It'll be me and Kevin once again after the final out. Thank you guys very much for listening to me as always. Go check out the interview that Royals Pipe led with LP Langevin, and we'll be back on Sunday. Have a good one, everybody.